Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. Glad you're here. Glad you're all listening.
What's going on, man? I feel some negative energy around you.
It's not. I'm
Hold on.
positive. Oh, okay. You're lighting your sage.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Well, I have my Palo Santo over there that I just cleared my energy.
You want the
So
Palo Santo? No
I
problem.
get,
No
yeah, we
problem.
got it. All right, so we're clear. We're good.
No problem. No problem. Don't mind the smoke, guys. I need this. All right, we're good. We're good. Let's go. What's up,
We're
everybody?
we're in that kind of mood today.
Oh my God, there's a lot of smoke now.
Yeah, our show's gonna be interrupted by the fire department
Dude, what's up?
because you went nuts, cleansing and saging.
What's going on, man?
Mm,
So, how was your week,
lots.
bro?
Good. There's lots going on. Lots to talk about. Um, so much stuff, dude. I got so many I got a couple of rants here. All right. So this morning I received an email from the MS Society. Not me personally, but an email went out,
Okay.
and I was kind of bummed out about it. They announced that they are sunsetting that Government Relations Action Committee.
Yeah.
They're transitioning away from that. Bro, is your
Bro,
apartment
what do
on
you want?
fire?
You're
Is
crazy
your apartment
incense.
on fire?
No, it's just.
I just let it roll.
All right, let's go. So,
So
tell me.
anyhow,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're sunsetting, as they call it, or shutting down the Government Relations Action Committee
Okay.
that you've heard me talk about a lot.
Yeah.
It's still kind of going to exist, but they're changing kind of how it works, I guess. There's a lot of information coming out. Um, it says the enrollment has been stagnant or declining over the years, which I totally understand because not everybody feels comfortable talking to their, elected leaders. Because I guess they can be kind of intimidating, because of their position.
Yeah.
And honestly, I get it because it's really hard to keep up the good fight when when you're not getting responses, like when staffers, uh, and I'm not calling out anybody, but from personal experience, I have had staffers reschedule several meetings. Just keep pushing it out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say avoiding, but just kind of avoiding.
Okay.
And and when you read how policymakers vote, because those of us that are involved pay attention to, naturally how the people are voting. So, you go up there and you talk to them and you tell them why it's important to do things that benefits research. And as you've heard, and as you're probably well aware, and hopefully many of our listeners are aware, research has been taking a big hit over the last year or so. Um, so to constantly get out there and continually say to the elected officials, like, hey, this is important, and then they don't vote on it or don't
Yeah.
listen or whatever. So I get it. People get discouraged very quickly. So I can understand that. But they're transitioning it to, I think, it sounds like a more flexible model. It sounds like each individual can kind of pursue their own meetings and handle things and rally up and do that kind of stuff the way. So they're just shifting a little bit, but I'm kind of sad because that's kind of my wheelhouse, talking to people like that. So
Hear you, man. I was told that if you can contact a policymaker or a politician or whatever, and just tell them, and I'm not even giving you suggestions. I'm just this is what someone told me, and I'm just like, yeah, that's actually smart. and just say, hey, can I just talk to you about
Mhm.
MS and MS community? And you don't need to go into their policies, because usually every politician, as soon as you say, I have MS, they're like, oh, my sister-in-law has MS. And
Mhm.
then they can relate to you that way. And then, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. And that's kind of just what it is. You just kind of talk to their staff and say, "Hey, listen, this is why we feel it's important to
Yeah.
give money to us." Um, so I don't know. It just kind of it
Yeah.
they
It's,
said in
it's
they said in the email that there were only 24 states represented. So
okay.
that leaves 26 of them out.
Yeah.
So this is transitioning to a model that is easier for those states that haven't traditionally been represented to be represented. And I fully appreciate that because I can only imagine how difficult it would be to live in an area where not only is your representative not aware or your elected official, but you kind of feel like are not involved in the community because there's not an organized
Yeah.
structure. Does that make sense?
And the majority is not involved or
Right.
not accepting of it.
Right.
No.
No, I hear what you're saying. So now
Yeah.
you're relying on those 24 delegations as they
Yeah.
were to speak for everybody. So hopefully this brings in more people. They do a great job of sending out like emails and making it super easy because you just click a link and then it takes you to who your representatives are and they have like a form you can fill in and modify and then just send it
Yeah.
off. So they do a lot of blitz campaigning where it's like you try to flood them with emails and phone calls and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is good. So we'll see how it goes. There's a webinar explaining how they're doing it. I'm still going to stay involved. Um,
Cool.
it'll be nice to be able to do it on my own time because I will say it's a shame that we have these things called state action days
Okay.
where we all rally up at our state capitals and go in and talk to all the people all at once. Um, but it's kind of prohibitive for me. I haven't been able to do it the last 2 years because of timing and scheduling, but
Yeah.
also because it's a hell of a long day for me because my capital is like 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
And so my options are go up the day before, have the expense of a hotel room, and then talk to these people. And then either, you're spending 6, 7 hours in the Capitol building. So you're either going to get a hotel again. So that's 2 nights in a hotel room, or you have to drive 2.5 hours home
Yeah.
after your day's over. So even though I wouldn't be driving, it's just too long a day for me to do it.
Yeah.
Um, that's why I like the DC run because there was a hotel multiple days and you had your meetings spaced out. So that
Yeah.
was like an easy energy. So it's just too much. So this will be good because now I know when my state representatives are back in town. So I
Yeah.
can just schedule meetings like that. So we'll see.
It's too much work for me, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you doing that, bro. I really
Uh,
do. And I'm sure so many people do.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't mind. I really don't. It's just the expense of the travel and the hours and it's just grueling.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of want to be on my A game, like when we're here on the show, like, this is a good day for people who are listening and watching. This is what I look like on a good day.
Yeah.
When we miss a week or we whatever, that's that's bad. Those are bad days. So,
Oh, this is what I look like on a bad day too. You know what I mean? Nobody
yeah,
knows.
yeah, no, I know, but
Yeah.
so we'll see. Well, like I said, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one
Keep
of my
us
rants.
keep us updated. Yo, it's never a rant, you know.
Um, what do you got?
Okay.
Because
What
I have a really for real rant that I want to save until we talk about some issues here. So go ahead.
okay, what do you want me to start with? Do you want to talk about pressure sores really fast?
Yeah, well,
You
go
want to
for
hear
it.
my little story?
Yeah, you've mentioned those a couple of times.
My little scare.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been hearing about people getting pressure sores and stuff like that. First of all, before I even had MS, if I heard pressure sore, I knew what it was, but I just thought, and this is the ignorant side of me, okay? I thought it was just people not taking care of themselves. They're dirty. They're not cleaning. I don't know. I didn't really know what it was.
Sure.
So I kind of ignored it, didn't care. And then I have MS. I'm in a chair. I hear a lot of people saying, be careful of the pressure sores because once it comes, it's so hard to get rid of. Once it opens up, it's so hard to get rid of. So I'm like, yeah, don't worry about me. I'm okay. I'm not a paraplegic. I can still move, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so dude, I lost a lot of this is I don't know if you don't want to listen to this, don't listen to this. I lost a lot of meat on my bum. So now my sit bones are what I sit on a lot of the times. Yo, it's not comfortable. I don't like that, right? So I
Sure.
realized the cushioning is now important because before my guy's like, what cushion do you want? I'm like, just get me a cushion. I don't care. Now I'm like, whoa, I need to get a hybrid cushion where it's like air filled and all that stuff. And I used to be like, I don't need that stuff. It would be embarrassing. It's kind of like getting a bed rail. I'm like, no, no, I don't need a bed rail. I'm good. But then once you get it, you're like, it's the best thing ever.
Right.
So now my bum's getting sore and I'm trying to stay off of it. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm so nervous. And I've never, and you know what Bean from Push says that, yeah, take a picture, look at it, get someone to look at it. And I've never had anyone in my life, hey, can you take a look at my bum and tell me if you see a spot? And, because usually when there's a spot there, if you push, this is what I was told by a doctor. If you push, it'll turn red. When you let go, if it goes back to white, that means there's blood flow. If it doesn't, that there's no blood flow, whatever. So, excuse me. So it's getting sore, man. And I'm really worried now what's going on. This one spot. At the same time, just keep in mind that when I sit down sometimes into the toilet, I bang hard sometimes. So I could have bruised something. But anyway,
Right.
so I went to the doctor. I made an appointment. I said, I got to go. I got to make sure I have control of this thing because dude, I feel like it was a point of no return at this time. Like it was
Sure.
painful. So I went to the doctor and he's like, what brings you in here, Terry? And I went with Katrina. And I said, by the way, I asked Katrina to look at home. I'm like, you know what? I need you to look. She looked. She's like, I see a little red spot. I'm like, oh no. She's like, yeah, a little bit. I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, let's just go to the doctor, make sure. I'm like, of course. So we're at the doctor's, and he's like, all right, Terry. Well, let me see. And I'm sitting there like, do you, how, where? And he's like, just bend over and try to. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, dude, I'm not comfortable with that. So I'm bending
Right.
down, pulling my pants down, like, oh boy. And he's looking, and he's looking. He's focused. He's looking. He's focused, and he goes, I don't know what you're seeing. And I said, it was there yesterday. Katrina saw it, and then he goes, come show me. So then she goes around. Now I have a doctor and Katrina looking at my ass, and they're both like analyzing it. And she's like, yeah, it was right here as she touches. And he's like, oh, it's fine. It's okay. Whatever you're doing is awesome. Don't worry. And I'm like, you
Right.
sure you don't see it? He goes, no, all I see is a pimple. And I'm like,
Ah.
dude, dude, what I don't got a pimple there. He's like, yeah, yeah, that's all you got. And I'm like, and keep in mind, Katrina still looking at my ass. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, okay, that's enough. That's enough. So he's like, you're good. Whatever you're doing, it's good. So I just got scared because of the
Sure.
soreness and all that went through my head is pressure sore, pressure sore. So that's good news, bro. And now
Yeah, that
my
is good
comfortable
news.
seating, I'm always switching. Everything's okay.
Do
And
you have one of those seat
pimples?
cushions?
No, it's gone. Sorry. Go ahead. Yes,
Well, I'm
yes.
glad you cleared that up. Um, do you
Yes.
have one of those seat cushions where they like I've seen the really advanced ones where like the air shifts, so like it constantly is like moving you in a way like the hospital beds do.
I have the hybrid one. So it's more in the
Okay.
back. It's more of the sit bone. But I know what you're talking about. Yes, it's the same thing where
Yeah,
I
because
Mine, you just release the air from the back, but there's ones where you can release from the right, from the left, from the front.
Yeah, and
I
they
I
they
think
have like
so.
little motors that kind of move it around too, which
I don't
that's
know.
pretty extreme. But yeah, that was one of the best pieces of advice that I got from the woman who fitted me for my chair. She was like, "Okay, let's talk about cushions." She's like, "You're going to be sitting for a long time, like much longer than work, much longer than school. Like this is, like the bottom of, like you were saying, um, it's kind of like your feet, like the pads of your feet.
Yeah.
You want to put good shoes on so that you have padding. So the same thing for your butt when you're sitting.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. I was like, I don't really care. Just give me the memory foam or whatever. But now I have
That's
like the cool gel.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So if there's one thing that I would say, and I'm sure you'll back me up, is if you're gonna spend a little extra on anything in your wheelchair, make it the seat cushion.
Bro, I never thought that would be an issue,
Well,
you know?
sure. Why would you?
They're soft, they're soft. Who cares? But then you realize it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's good
Well,
news for me.
I'm glad it wasn't a sore because I'm sure that would I can only imagine the treatment plan you have to be on for that to mitigate that exposure.
There's people have surgeries because of that to
Hmm.
fix it, and yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah, definitely a real problem, which is why there are so many people out there whose job it is to solely move people who can't move.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like every hour they would turn them and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know what's I thought a sore happens because it's dangerous because it's near the butt and it can
Hmm.
get dirty and you got to make sure it's clean. Mine is not near, sorry, I'm going to talk about it, not near the crack of my butt.
Sure.
It's on the cheek on the left. So I was like, how can this be, it doesn't matter. When I told the
Right.
doctor that, I'm like, but it's not there. He's like, it doesn't matter. Sores can happen anywhere. It's not necessarily in a spot, you know. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't that, brother.
Thanks for letting me share, man.
Of
Appreciate it.
course. What else is on your Terry's list of random items?
TR list. Um, Transferring the other day, my feet are useless. So when I
Mhm.
transfer, sometimes they dangle. And I transferred into my chair and my foot was kind of crossed and my nail, my feet nails are not bad, but they're kind of, it's hard to cut my toenails on my own.
That that brings up an interesting point. How do you are you able to still do that?
When I go to the washroom, I have clippers there, so
Okay.
it's the easiest part where I can bend down. But
Okay.
usually it's easier after a shower when they're
Sure.
softer and all that stuff. But
Now,
anyway,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going. I
one
gotta.
of my nails, when I moved my foot,
Hmm.
it sliced my
Ah,
ankle, and I didn't know it was my nail. I got in my bed and I'm like, "Where's this blood?" It was a lot of blood,
sure.
and it stopped. Everything's okay, but it was a lot of blood, and I'm like, "Where did it come from?" I thought it was my chair that I rubbed against the chair. And this happened about 3 weeks ago, just so you know. And then I realized it was probably my toenail, and then it happened again 3 days ago. So I'm like, this is becoming an issue. Like I have to make sure my toenails are really, really trimmed. Sounds weird, but
No, it doesn't sound weird because if you if you have reduced sensation in that area, how would you know that that area needs attention? So my question that I was hinting at in the
yeah,
middle of your story there is have you ever considered like regular pedicures?
no,
No?
just no.
Why not?
I feel like if you go to my fat toe and scratch it, it flinches, it
Sure.
spazzes. So I don't know how comfortable that'll be if me telling the lady, I might kick you in the face. No, seriously, like I just, you know, I've gotten manicures before,
Right.
you know, 3 or 4 of them maybe in the past, but never pedicure. You?
Well, the reason why I bring it up is because there's a foot doctor near me, not too
Okay.
far away, a couple mile or two.
Yeah.
Um, I had something removed years ago. I had like this non-cancerous growth removed.
Okay.
Um,
Good.
and while I was there, this was after my diagnosis. So while I was there, I had noticed that several of his clients or other people in the waiting room were probably somewhere between 70 and 85 years old.
Okay.
And they were in and out like 5 minutes. And I looked, and here they were just going in there to get their nails taken care of, their toenails. And I asked the doctor about it, and
Really?
he said that my insurance, Medicare, covers nail care if if the doctor writes it and says it's medically necessary for someone to maintain the integrity of your toenails.
Yeah.
So recently, I was at my primary, or the GP as you would call it,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what
and
primary is. A primary doctor, I guess. Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
and I asked about it, and they wrote a script. So I'm waiting for insurance to okay it because it is something that I have a problem with. It sounds silly, but to maintain the posture to take care of one's own toenails is not easy with core strength or not core strength. You know what I mean? So
I'm so glad we're
we'll
talking
see.
about this. Yeah.
Well, it's something you don't think about because, until you go, when you start focusing on all sorts of other things, that's the last thing you think about. But if the nail's too long and you drag it across your foot, you cut your foot. Or if it gets caught trying to put your sock on, then maybe you fall off the chair or off the couch or whatever. So it
Yeah.
does it does sound like a silly thing to talk about, but there are fall
There's,
risks. They're like you injure, you caused a laceration.
yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
fall risk. Like these are real things.
I
So
have
we'll see.
another friend with MS. So I have another friend with MS who removed all his toenails.
Ooh, well, that
Yeah.
is
Didn't I tell you
extreme.
about this before? Yeah,
No,
he went a procedure, he removed all his toenails. And I'm like,
that is
"Whoa,
extreme.
dude, he did it. He did it. He removed all his toenails. He removed like
Ugh.
four, and then he ended up going back and saying, "Can you remove the rest?" And doctor's like, "I don't
Uh,
really recommend it." And he's like, "Do it." And I don't
yeah,
know
no.
why exactly he did it. I think he did it because he kept getting a caught and must have tore. I
Mhm.
don't know. But yeah,
But
when I
no,
heard that, I'm like, damn, you can do that?
that's a hard pass for
Yeah, yeah, me too.
me.
Yeah,
But I never knew it was a thing.
it's a
So
thing.
if it when it I'm going to say when it gets approved, I'm going to have a once a month pedicure from my foot doctor so that I don't fall off the chair or, the
I'm
nails
gonna
don't.
ask a doctor about this. I'm gonna see what my doctor says. Is
It's just a random thing that you don't think about.
yeah,
Um, but it makes sense because even like you said, even though if your legs are useless, what are you going to do? Grab your foot and pull it up to your chest and start, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
still going
yeah,
to hurt.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
still going
yeah.
to cause damage.
Dude, the cut was on the right side outside.
Uh,
I couldn't even put a band-aid on it.
that's the
Well,
worst.
you know what I mean? To put that
Yeah.
angle and yeah, it was, it was a bitch.
Yeah. So I'll let you know. I'm sure it'll get approved in a couple days
Yeah.
or a week or so. But
I hope he's like gentle and he's not like, come here, click, 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 click. And
I've seen him in action,
yeah.
and I would imagine I don't know if gentle is the word I would use, but definitely professional
Okay.
and to the point. Like he's like, this is what I'm here to do.
He's
Yeah,
not gonna massage your feet for
no,
you.
he's just kind of like he's just kind of like you said, come here, click, But you do it 1,000 times. So I guess I'll make it on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same day as I'll make the appointment on the same day as I make Miller's appointment, my dog's appointment to get his
Okay.
nails trimmed. So we'll just get them both done on the same day.
Nice. Awesome. That's funny.
But I have considered just getting regular pedicures, just because why not?
Oh, dude, I
You
would
know?
get bro, I have nothing against pedicures or manicures. I would do it all the time if it was convenient.
Yeah, like one of those treat yourself kind of days.
Legit, if it was next door, I'd
Mhm.
go a lot. I don't care.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Another thing is tans. I would go to a tanning
Mm,
salon and get a tan. I don't care, bro. There's negative and positive things about it that I hear from so many people, so I'm over that. But I heard
There is.
it still gives you vitamin D. I know that sounds weird, but
I I take my I go for my 15 minutes plus in the sunshine a day.
me too, bro. I would rather that. I
Yeah.
haven't gone for a tan in 3, 4 years since COVID. But before COVID, I used to go, and not regularly, but I used to go before summer so I can get my pre-tan and get at least some color. Because, dude, it takes so much to get tan for me. I'm so pasty white. I swear an
So,
ambulance drove by me and almost took me away. They're like, this guy is dead. No, no, seriously.
so do you do the UV bed or the spray tan?
UV
Stand
bed.
it.
I've never seen the spray
No,
bed.
you know.
Stand up. That's just cruel, bro. I have MS. So, what about? I wanted to talk to you about something else. Itchiness.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Like we're talking about real itchiness, like in the palms sometimes, and you just want to take a fork and just scratch it, or ask someone to scratch it for you. And
From here to here,
is that where yours is?
my entire forearm, it feels like sometimes it get like it's not too bad right now because it just feels like it feels like it's asleep.
Okay.
But when it gets really bad, it really feels like if you ask Kit, it feels like spiders crawling on my arm
Yeah.
and behind my ear, like behind my
Okay.
left ear. I'll
Yeah.
do this. I'll start doing this, and Kit will go, "Babe, there's nothing there." And I'm like, "Oh, but it's so itchy."
Like
But
a.
so it's like right here
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and right here. So right behind my left ear and my whole left forearm is just unbelievable at times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's just the nerves, right? Like
Hmm.
I
There's
don't
nothing
know.
there.
Yeah, it happens
It's
to
it.
me.
Uh,
Not
that's
often, but
it.
more often than rare.
It goes along with the tingling and the numbness.
Okay.
Um, but man, like when I get overheated, like if I do too much, or and I have a problem calming down, or like when I threw my back out and everything was on fire, or like when I had 2 weeks ago, like I've man, August has not been a great month for me.
Sorry, bro.
That's okay. Or like when I had my panic attack, like the day
Yeah.
after,
Yeah.
it was just so many MS things. Um, so yeah, it's like when the extreme emotions or the extreme, when I get all worked up and stuff.
So when you went through your panic attack, that was, I guess, a lot of stress on your body,
Yes.
and that's why you went through that shit right after. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like when I was coming down. And like I said,
Damn.
I feel it all the time right here on my
Yeah.
left forearm, but it just feels like numbness,
Okay.
but when it's really bad, it feels like my skin is crawling and I just instinctively just start itching. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just be talking and Kit will be like, baby, there's nothing there. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. She goes, you're going to scratch it all day and it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I use for it is I have a THC cream.
Okay. Okay.
So I put the THC cream on it and it directly numbs that area so that it stops. And it
Okay.
seems to help. It seems to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's psychological or if it's actually doing it, but either way, I'll take it. I'm not even
Whatever.
looking. I'm not asking. I'm not looking into it. It
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um, so I use that.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm
Do
glad
you
I have
have it?
no itches. Yeah. What? The itchiness?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Again, it's not, mm, it's, it's not all the time,
Right.
but it's not rare. It happens more often than I wanted to, but yeah, that's it. What can I do? Sometimes I just scratch my hand on a edge of a rough surface, you know, but yeah.
You know what else I've heard and I've never done it, and I don't know if it. I don't know. I don't even know if I should recommend it, but I've heard someone used it as their technique. There is 2000 grit sandpaper.
Okay.
So I don't know if do you know like the lower the number, the rougher it
No,
is. All right.
no, but
So for
yeah.
sandpaper, the lower the number, the harsher it is, like the rougher the surface. So
Okay.
2000 grit is like a nail file,
Okay.
like an emery board. That's like 2000. So they have a 2000 grit piece of sandpaper that they just lightly, because it
Okay.
provides just enough of a scratch, but it doesn't. But I don't know. He uses it. It's on like his side,
Yeah.
so that's him.
Yeah.
He does like 5 or 6 quick passes, and it seems to work for him. But that's an example of when you reach the end of trying everything, what do you try? You know what I mean? Like you just got to
Yeah.
do what works for you, and for
Dude,
him, that's what it works.
so if I go to a Home Depot or a hardware store,
Yeah.
they have different grits
Yes.
sandpaper. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So can
Yes.
I not buy like a big strip of it and put it on my wall? So
Yeah, and
like it,
scratch like a
yeah.
bear.
Isn't that what people do? That's smart.
So, I mean, it's like it's not rough at all. It's like I said, it's like a nail file,
Yeah, yeah.
but
That's rough to
it's
me, but
just
I know
enough.
what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So use
yeah.
caution, but it worked for him, and it was like
Oh,
his
that's the
left
thing
side.
you
He
didn't
just
want to
kind of like,
recommend.
yeah, I didn't want to recommend it because like I'm not advocating people go to the hardware store and just buy sandpaper, so then I can get all the hateful emails saying I tore my skin up.
I got a rash. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. I got all these infections because I'm using sandpaper.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what I have written here. Okay. No, I don't want to get into this because I might, okay.
Let's get
Vitamin.
into it, Terry.
Okay,
Come on.
let's since we were talking about vitamin D. A lot of people tell me vitamin D because we don't get enough sun. I grew up in the sun. I grew up
Sure.
in like I don't know if anyone knows. I'm going to say it anyway. I grew up in Saudi Arabia, but I went to an American school. That's why my English is fine and all that stuff. A lot of people might be like, "Oh, what the hell?" But I grew up in the Middle East. I came to Canada when I was 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. So that is debunked because I was in the sun all the time. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um,
Yeah.
that's it. So not enough vitamin D in this side of the hemisphere or whatever they say. I don't believe in that, man.
Well, I think it's up to everybody's environment and upbringing. Myself, I also lived in the sun in my teenage years. I was a camp counselor for
Okay.
5 summers. I taught aquatics, so everything from swimming to sailing.
Not band
Um,
camp.
no, I also went to that 4 years in a
No
row.
way. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
So I was outside constantly,
Okay.
constantly, and honestly, it's one of the biggest points of when I sit and think about it, it's one of the biggest points of sadness in my MS story is that how much of the outdoors has
Yeah.
kind of been taken away from me because of heat intolerance, that kind and that and swelling and all the things. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really the thing I miss the most is just being outside. Um, I was the kind of kid that when we would go down the beach, when we go to the beach on vacation, I was sun up to sundown in the water on the beach. Like you couldn't. My mom used to have to get me out of the water to have lunch because I
Yeah.
didn't care. It was just hours, hours. And again, working at camp, it's sun up to sundown. I was on the bay teaching rowing and canoeing. I was at the pool doing lifeguard stuff. Like you couldn't get me inside. And now it's like if I'm outside for 5 minutes, I'm like, this isn't. I
Oh
can't do
yeah,
it.
me too. I melt for sure. I get you.
Yeah.
Like I
So
didn't
that's
believe
why.
it 3 years ago, but I melt just like you say. Yeah.
And that's why I need like the ice packs and like the
Yeah.
hats and all those things. And so I don't, it's one of the things about we talk about mourning our past lives.
Yeah.
That's one of the pieces of the mourning that I do. Um, I've kind of made peace with it, but not the peace like I want to make with it, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I understand it's something that I have to adjust in my life, but I don't like it, you know? So
I get it.
I stay out longer. I stay out in the heat longer than I should often because I figured if I know what's coming.
Yeah.
So when I am up at the mansion and I'm doing my like doing grounding techniques. It could be 95 degrees out. So what's that, like 30, I think? Like
Sure.
30 degrees.
All I know is -40.
There you go. Nice plug. Um,
Okay.
when it's super hot out,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I go out and I ground. So I lay on the grass and I'm basically just in my shorts.
Okay.
And sometimes I stay out there longer than I should, but I know what's going to happen. But I just like being outside. So it's something I deal with.
Yeah.
Um, but it sucks.
It does. It does. I love the sun too, man. But I know 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops for me.
Yeah. Most days that's me too, but every now and again I get stubborn and I'm like, no, I'm staying out for hours.
I get it.
Then I pay for it later that day or that night.
Yeah. I get it. Everyone knows. It's the same story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
That,
ready for my big rant?
hold on. Yes.
Okay. Buckle up. Here we go. I know on this show we try not to get too political.
Oh boy. Okay, let's
Okay.
go. Yeah.
All right. And politics for me is like religion, meaning that everyone is right in their own mind. And I'm not here to change people's opinions
Okay.
about politics. I personally have no allegiance to either side. Um, I have opinions about elected leaders and I interact with some of them, obviously, as we've talked about.
Okay.
I only speak about the ones who do things while they're in office and what they're doing. Okay. So I don't care who's in, I don't care what side they play for. Doesn't matter to me. I'm
Yeah.
only about the person who's in there while they're doing it.
Okay.
All right. So that's my preface.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a press conference the other day held by one of our appointed persons
Okay.
at the federal level, RFK Jr. I don't know if you're familiar with that person. Um, so there was a press conference between RFK Jr. and the NIH, the National Institute of Health,
Okay.
and there was an announcement made that they are no longer investing any money in mRNA vaccine research. $50 million of funding has been pulled from mRNA research. Now, mRNA research has been a hot button topic for the last 5 years
Okay.
because it is the technology that was implemented for the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
Okay. So that technology is a platform for vaccines, meaning that it doesn't only treat respiratory illnesses.
Okay.
Okay. It has the potential to treat a large number of things as a platform. So the reason why they were able to come up with a vaccine so quickly is because they already had 80% of it done.
Okay.
They had this code. Now, the NIH owns it. They created it. They hold the patent on it. It's theirs.
Okay.
So their researchers, their scientists spent years and decades working on this particular thing. And you can plug in other parts to make it work for other things.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not here to debate any of the political pieces that come. This is just science. Okay.
Okay.
So whether it's a respiratory disease, an autoimmune disease, or cancer,
Yeah.
there's going to be no more money for that particular research. So if you were to say that this mRNA technology assists with things that affect MS, that total we've lost, we said earlier this year how much money we lost, and
Yeah.
now another 50 million. So now we're talking $70 million of funding for just MS is no longer being put towards that. So the first question I ask is why? And
Yeah.
then the second question I ask is, so where does that money go now? Because if now you got almost, you got about $70 million that was being put somewhere and is now not.
Yeah.
You would think that for all this money that we're not putting out on research, maybe, I don't know, maybe tax breaks. That's an extreme example, and it's dipping my toes outside of what I want to focus on. But the question is, where does the money go? Certainly doesn't go back to us. That's for sure.
So nothing's been explained.
Well,
Like,
they explained their reasons,
yeah.
um, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they just want to move into different areas of technology, and that so okay, it's not mine to do. It's just mine to gripe about. Um, so whether it's like I said, autoimmune disease, cancer, no more money, um, regardless of the potential benefits, and in my humble opinion, it kind of feels like a throwback to we're pulling this funding because of its link to the COVID vaccine. That's what it kind of feels like.
Yep. I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We don't want to do that. We just kind of want to.
Hey, since we're talking about this, and there's someone in the support groups that's mentioned that when he got the COVID shot, he got worse and
Mhm.
his MS got even much worse. And now he's in a wheelchair, whatever the story is. Okay. And as soon as he started doing this, I feel like people shut him down and said, "Hey, we can't talk about that here. We can't."
Yeah.
This is not in the support group that I was facilitating. It was another one. And then this guy came to my support group. Well, not mine, but the one that I'm helping out. And he was starting to explain that. I stopped him and I said, "You are more than welcome to explain your situation and what happened. And that is fair." And when I said that to him, he was like, "Thank you." I'm like, "I'm not saying that I'm against or with it. I'm just saying what happened to you is valid. Please feel free to share." Okay. So we're not talking about if you should get it or shouldn't get it, but your experiences is valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the component that gets lost.
Yeah.
Again, we're not trying to sway people, but here's my thing. So if I'm paying attention to this and I'm doing the math and not the well, if I'm putting it together in my head, we have a vaccine platform that has the potential to help all these different things. So if you plug in this particular strain, it could help COVID. If you plug in this one, it could help this. If you plug in this one, it might help this. So we're getting rid of that funding and then they're funding what's called, let me get it here. It says at the same press conference, they announced that they were working on a universal vaccine that would vaccinate you from everything.
No comment.
So again, we're not funding a platform which helps multiple things to fund something that helps multiple things. That is truly the government at work.
Sounds like they're cutting corners.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
it's it just doesn't make any sense. It's like saying, Terry, we're not going to pay for your car anymore because we're not going to pay your car note anymore because we're going to put that money towards a vehicle that transports you with four wheels.
Yeah. 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 It somehow
But
benefits them.
oh yeah, 100, yeah, we'll find that out down the road. But it's just disheartening because, like, once again, here we go. There's money being pulled from something that it takes a very long time for research, and you get it wrong a lot. Like, what was I think the light bulb took like over 1,000 different ways, and then they finally got it. Like, no one gets it right on the first try.
Yeah. You know your history of light bulbs?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. But I did hear a story. My here's one. My grandfather used to tell me this one all the time. You know the snack, the combos, the pretzels with the cheese in
Yes,
there.
yes, yeah, yeah.
The combos that you buy on the shelf, he used to tell me was the 40th version or like the 60th version. It took like a long time to get to that. Hell, WD-40, the 40 stands for the 40th formula.
No way.
Yeah. Water displacement 40th.
Water display.
WD. You love saying that.
I didn't know that though. That's crazy. I'm gonna actually look it up.
So my
Fact check
point
you.
is
Yeah,
research. Yeah, go ahead. Research
yeah.
takes a while. So to like say we're not funding it anymore because there's no results, I don't know. Not for mine to do, it's just mine to gripe about, like I said. Um
I hope,
that's my
man.
rant.
Like I know it's disturbing and stuff, but I hope there's at least another 1,000 people that are upset about it, and someone is doing something about it.
I hope so.
You know what I mean? Like,
But, you know, I don't think that I don't think that anybody should shy away from talking about these things, like even you and I, because it
mm,
does have an impact on us and the disability community as
of
a whole.
course, man. Of course.
I'm I just want to make sure I present it from as much factual, you know, I don't care which side's right. All I know is my people, us, we're being affected by it. We have to live with the outcome, you know. So that's my rant about that. It's just it's just just getting so weird out there.
Bro, very valid. Like,
It's
it's
just
kind
like
of
sometimes I look and I'm like, what are we? Where are we?
it's kind of depressing, man.
And I take solace in the fact that we're only one country in the world. So like big pharma, all the big companies, they're global. So just because it's not happening here, there's certainly research going on in the rest of the world. That's why we have the MS World Consortium, so that everybody can put their heads together on that.
Okay.
Um, that's why World MS Day became a thing.
Okay. Oh, okay. Man, you know so
Yep.
much more than I do. Jeez.
So there's
Yeah.
you can Google it and you can look because it is a clearinghouse of information.
Yeah.
It's and doctors from and researchers from all over the world are weighing in on this. It just sucks that we're not, you know.
Yeah.
Not that the MS Society is not. I'm just talking about the NIH and the funding that's been pulled. The MS Society is still pushing hard for us.
Yeah.
Even though, like I said at the beginning, they're changing tactics, which it happens over time. You got to grow, you got to change because that's just the way it goes. They're
Yeah.
definitely not going away. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like it's just survival of the fittest. I feel like that. I feel like slowly, the strong are like, yeah, they're sick anyway, and
mm-hmm.
just let's stop wasting money on the sick. It almost feels like that. I know it's not like that, but I feel like we're being abandoned slowly. So,
Certainly,
mm,
you can certainly look at it through that lens. That's for sure.
yeah,
Um, Thankfully, knock on wood, um, you know, my personal funding for my medicines and all the help that I get.
yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, luckily that's still in place.
Don't
But
jinx it.
you're
Let's
right.
talk about something
That's what I'm gonna
else.
say. Like, you can't even. That's kind of how it feels. It's like,
Yeah,
hell, I don't even know how long you and I are gonna be able to do this show. You know what I mean? Like, I
yeah.
kind of feel that way at times too. They're just gonna. Thankfully, the internet is still for everybody. Thanks to
It's taboo to talk
our
about MS online.
our grand corporate overlords, we can still exist.
Yeah,
As long as we don't monetize and they keep getting money, then they'll be
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
So we're
Exactly.
never gonna don't monetize.
So we don't want no sponsors.
No, we like sponsors. Just
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love.
yeah. Sorry. Yes, you're right. So Tim Hortons, please sponsor us. I want my coffees. Yo, I told you about the decaf thing.
You
I don't
did.
know what's going on, man. Either they're lying to me or uh, it's not as effective as I always thought it was. Because there's a couple times I'm like, what's going on? I'm using the washroom extra. I'm like, did they give me a regular coffee when I asked for a decaf?
Well, first of all, they can't get rid of 100% of the caffeine.
I know.
Um, but what's left is still a diuretic.
Very
It's not,
little caffeine.
yeah, but it's the coffee in and of itself
I know.
is
I know.
still,
I know. So is tea a diuretic too?
yes, but not as intense as coffee. I drink my 2 cups of tea, 2 to 3 cups of tea a day.
Okay.
I start my day off with a cup of green tea, and then I move on to the white hibiscus with honey.
Relax, buddy. Relax.
It's while I'm doing my mindfulness on the back deck,
Nice.
being praising the sun, being grateful, expressing gratitude, manifesting abundance. I do all those things there.
That's good though. That's good, bro. What, you making fun?
No, I'm
Oh,
it's real. That's my
yeah,
morning
good.
routine. I sit there with my tea. I have a gorgeous backyard. I
Yeah.
look at my back half acre, look at the forests, I have a stream in my backyard. I
Nice,
sit there and
nice.
listen, I sit quietly. I One of the greatest habits that I got into was I do not touch any electronic device for a half hour after I wake up or a half hour before I go to bed. It completely is done. I am
You put
for
me to
sure.
shame.
Well, I am for sure not like I'm addicted to the device like we all are. And here we are creating content, obviously. But if you are my friend on Facebook, you'll see that I don't think I've posted this year. Like I share things, but like as far as
Yeah,
posting
yeah.
goes,
I know what you're saying.
it's been a very long time. And Instagram is mostly just the show.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I guess I'm for as open as you and I are, that offline, that's me. I appreciate sitting quietly in the woods or sitting quietly.
We're not this show isn't pushing people to go on their phones because they can listen to it on the radio in the
Yeah,
car.
yeah. Right. Right. But
But I hear you.
I've done I do a lot of work to try as best I can to remain in a good, headspace and to keep my heart rate down, to not get anxious or excited about things. I mean, I do, and I get frustrated, but you heard my rant. Even that rant is not screaming and yelling.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, my
Yeah,
blood,
I've never heard you lose your cool.
well, see, I attribute most of that to my old life.
Okay.
Like that's what I did back then. My
Yeah.
whole existence in my old life was worrying about other people's problems, correcting behaviors, mitigating disasters. Well, not like, single-handedly, obviously, but
Yeah.
involved with that kind of stuff. Because the stuff we were dealing with definitely took uh, whole teams of people. Um, but I just don't want to be like that. So I just choose not to. And my blood pressure gets so low that sometimes they're concerned about me, like when I'm getting my infusion,
Yeah.
they're concerned about my blood pressure going too low. But I'm just really relaxed most of the time.
Um, I lower my blood pressure by getting cats.
There you go. Petting a cat is known to do that. But see, then I have panic attacks. So like, I don't know, it swings the pendulum. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah,
Um,
I've never had a panic attack. I've been with people that have had it, so I understand it
so
totally.
I'm trying not to have another one.
Good.
Two is enough for me. One was enough for me. I don't,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And thanks for sharing that, man.
of
Appreciate it because a
course.
lot of people are embarrassed about panic attacks.
No, they happen.
So,
You just feel out of control. But yeah, I meditate a lot. I do a lot of holistic stuff. You and I have talked about that. Katrina is a practitioner, so she gets it. You get it. She do her Reiki on you to help with your legs or
dude,
anything. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Sometimes like she's great, man. Sometimes she'll be like, "Oh, your feet are cold," and she'll just pick up my feet and start,
Hmm.
manipulating the blood, whatever. And then I'll look at her and be like, "Do some Reiki," but I feel bad because it takes energy on her too, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
like, "You're too tired. Don't do it today." And she takes that stuff really serious.
most most uh most practitioners do, as they
Yeah,
should, because
yeah,
it is a practice just like anything else. Um, I have a whole building full of the of people you know who are living the life, and that's who they are, and that's how they are. Um,
yeah.
and that brings us to the completion of our hour. That's your therapy hour for the week there, Terry. No kidding. Mine too. Today was a lot about what was on my mind.
Dude, I
So
look forward to this. I really do. I write stuff down. I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to my buddy.
me too. Um, so for those listening, watching, um, please comment, email your experience, your thoughts, that kind of stuff. I promise we won't shame you on the air.
Of
It's just nice to hear what's going on out there, because everyone's experience is a little different, and
course.
just like the disease, everyone's journey is their own, right, Terry?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Later, guys. Bye.
Talk soon.
So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4 letter T below zero.com. Or feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are for Nix, it's Nix_V713. Or for Terry, it's what's_MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.